Okay, so anyway, so we're going to skip step 1. We're going to go right to step 2. Step 2 says to factor and divide. Caution, it's and. So the only reason it's helpful is if you can identify a factor of the top that matches a factor of the bottom. If you can't get factors to match, then factoring isn't helpful. That's why it's factor and divide. So this one does factor nicely. So we're going to have the limit now as x approaches 2. And just for a couple of days, we'll emphasize that we are doing both the left and the right. And the top doesn't really, in a useful way, factor further. The bottom will factor and nicely generate a factor that matches a factor of the top. Something like that. Questions from anyone? Please. Oh, somebody saw that mistake. 2 points. Nice enough. 3 for Geneva. Sorry, mental glitch there. That would be better. Questions? Cool. Okay, when you have factors, it's legal to write them separated a bit, just to improve your understanding. So I can write this. And it's the same thing. Okay? You're going to see something like this quite often throughout the year. So whenever you have something divided by itself, you need to remember or memorize that that's always going to equal 1 unless you have 0 divided by 0. So if the x were exactly 2, this yellow box would be undefined. Because we're doing a limit and x is not ever going to equal 2, this box is always going to equal 1 for this limit analysis. Say again? Oh. We're almost there. Cool. Pretty good? Okay, so when we go to find the limit, if we're only considering an x value that is almost 2, the yellow box is exactly 1. The other fraction right here will be almost or close to 1 over 4. It will not equal 1 over 4, but it will be very close to equaling 1 over 4. Questions? So this limit is 1 over 4.
Where did the 4 come from?
So we're trying to figure out the value of this formula right here. The value of this formula when the x that we plug in is close to 2. So that's where the 4 is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Good question. 2 for Isaac. Something kind of like this. Plugging in values that are close to 2, slightly more and slightly less, the y coordinate will be close to 1/4. Questions from anyone? Cool. We have not finished our continuity analysis, whole class. Who can remember what else must be, like what else will they expect you to do if you really are analyzing the continuity? I have seen students stop here and lose points because they forgot that more is required to analyze the continuity of the function. We've done the limit. Right? Hands up, hands up. What else do we need to check? Let's go, Summer.
You need to check f of 2.
Okay, so if your hand was raised, give yourself a point. Summer gets 2 of them. Raise your hand if you know what f of 2 will equal in this case. Everybody knows. Full class. Full class. What is f of 2 going to equal? We already found out what the limit is when x gets close to 2. Now we want to know what is the value of the function. What's the y coordinate when the x coordinate is precisely 2? For hands. If your hand is raised, give yourself a point. We'll go to Ethan. So So Ethan says 1/4. Please, Ethan gets 2 points. Please raise your hand if you agree with Ethan. So everybody give themselves another point. Raise your hand if you disagree with Ethan. So it's about 50-50. Your hand is now raised, give yourself 3 points. What does it really be like?
I think it's undefined.
Yeah, when x is exactly 2, when x is exactly 2, the yellow box is no longer equal to 1.
Because they cancel it out. 0 divided by 0.
2 divided by 0 is not canceled out.
That's what I meant.
Divided by 0 is undefined. That's why I have the forbidden word on the board here. Yeah.
If you plug in 2 to the equation up there, you get 2 minus 2, which is 0, and then you get 2 squared, which is 4 minus 4, that's 0. So 0 divided by 0 is
Plug in
0.
two.
You're just forgetting that 0 divided by 0 is actually undefined. It is, you are correct in that it is 0 divided by 0, but that's undefined.
Any
2
number.
points. Correct. Any number divided by 0, we don't know what to do with that.
How
so.
come you can this is the matter, like how
Okay.
come you can divide, no wait, no. You can divide 0, but you can't divide by 0.
I don't have the greatest answer in the world, but this one's not too bad.
Yeah.
Think of it this way, Anna. 2 points for Anna. 10 divided by 2 is equal to what, Anna?
5.
5. And one reason you could say that's true is you could say because 2 multiplied by 5 is 10.
Yeah.
Right? So if you go like this, what's that equal? Keep going in.
0.
0. And it still works. If you say 3 times 0, you do get 0, right? But if I flip it over like this, now you've got to put a number here that when you go 0 times that number, you get 4. 2 points for Ben. This is a very appropriate reaction. Is that not fair?
Yeah,
Like you're like, what do I do? I don't know. That's why we say undefined. Does that help?
Yeah.
you?
That makes sense.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I gotta be honest. I can do one more thing, and then you go, no, that doesn't help because 0 to 0 is weird because it seems like it should be 0 based on that argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have a better answer for you. Than I just know it's undefined. So.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I knew it was weird.
All right. Bigger eraser would help. Sorry again for the mint here. We'll be gone in a minute. Questions? Good question.
Easy.
Pretty good? Cool. Look. Okay, now you would have to go back to your first 4 flashcards. And I recommend that you remember this in order. As Eliza said, we really did find the left-right limit. They were the same. That means we do not have a jump. And the left-right limits aren't infinite, so we don't have a vertical asymptote. It's not continuous. That means there's only one option left. It's a removable discontinuity. So you must write the conclusion now. Let's get some space here. Since the limit as x approaches 2 of this function called f, this set of xy pairs, is not the same thing as the y value of the xy pairs when x is exactly 2. F of x has removable discontinuity. That's not how you spell it.
Can you try RD?
For your homework, yes. On the AP test, you have to write it out.
Full thing?
Yeah. For your homework, I'm fine. You want to take a little shortcut.
On your tests.
On my test, you got to do it like the AP test. Yeah, and that's just because I need you to. Well, I don't need you. I want you to practice how the test will be. So anyway, just you want to get in the right habits. At an x coordinate of 2. Questions? Please.
Is it continuity or continuity? Wait, removable discontinuity?
Yeah, many teachers will refer to what you're seeing here as a whole. AP test calls it removable discontinuity.
Is it discon?
As far as I know.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this one doesn't have the, like, hey, look up. This particular example, it helps me remember if I just say, I call it a removable because the point in the middle has been removed. And it wasn't placed somewhere else, it's just gone. As far as I know, like I know for certain it's a removable discontinuity in either case. I haven't used the word whole for a lot of years because AP doesn't use that word, but I'm 99% sure they're the exact same thing. So, 2 more. Other questions?
How do you? No, never mind. It's a dumb question. No, trust me, it's a dumb question.
You have to believe in the question.
L hospitals rule.
Yeah, that.
Oh,
How do you
awesome.
pronounce it?
Hospital.
Anybody speak French?
I told you.
El Hospital.
There you go.
What is
And
it?
I just kind of butcher and say L'Hopital. It's not as good as.
The H
But
sound.
he pronounced it like
I pronounce. Yeah, but really it's called.
But I was right when I said it's French.
Hey, named after a French person, mathematician. Yeah, his last name was L'Hopital. Look at me. Okay, you need it on the flashcard because you will eventually work problems where you'll do step 3 and you'll be stuck. And you'll have to do L'Hopital's rule to make progress. But being honest, we won't encounter those problems until February. But I wanted it on the card so you know it's going to happen. So you won't use it until February. So that's a very valid question. So.
Oh, mine was just on how to pronounce his name. So.
Oh.
It wasn't like
There you go. Anybody else? I need Ally to make me a little sign, record your voice, so that I can just press the button. This is how you say it.
I don't think it's that.
Go down in history. Other questions here? Cool, let's keep going. Stop this video.